Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Pamela Peinado. I have been enjoying myself these past few weeks presenting to you guys about social media, how to market. And this is our final presentation. And we're so excited to have Lay with us. She's going to talk to us all about ethical issues that she's seen, responding to negative comments, when folks leave all those bad reviews or negative comments on your social media accounts, on your Google review. She's going to teach us how to address them and just a few other things that she's seen. So thank you so much, Lay, for spending your afternoon with us. We're going to go ahead and get started with the presentation. If anyone has any questions, please ask them in the Q&A or in the chat. What we're going to do is we're going to do an overview of everything we've gone over in these past 3 weeks and open the floor for questions. And then Lay is going to take over in the presentation and answer any ethical concerns or questions that you guys may have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to present. Okay, ethical issues in social media. That's us. So as you guys know by now, we have been focusing on Instagram. And all of the influence that it has, right, on marketing, on getting your message out there, on building your brand, and how we should take advantage of all these free social media platform and marketing tools. Some of the key points that we've learned was to set up the accounts, how to upload the content, the 4 M's of social media, the hashtags, and how it's a free marketing tips. We learned a lot from Mark Issa last week, and everything he was teaching us about setting up your profile, growing your followers, building your brand and having that influence. Again, the most important thing is understanding your audience, right? Like we had several questions about, if I'm a corporate lawyer, right, I'm reaching out to these corporate clients, you have to be, your content is going to be completely different, right, than someone who's reaching to a younger audience or someone who's just reaching to the masses, right? Like I always think about Rolls-Royce's Instagram account, right, in comparison to some other very fun, outgoing, trying to reach that younger generation account where they have music and it's more entertaining, as opposed to more of like a brand building, right? It's more like you're trying to engage that younger audience. So it's so important to know, who is your audience? Who do you want to reach? Is it the corporations? Is it the businesses? Is it the, just your regular Johns, right, from the streets? Or who is it that you're trying to reach so that you can create the content appropriately? What is your audience demographic composition? The Instagram Insights, it tells you that, right? Like how many women are following you? What's the percentage of men, the age group, etc. We focus always on quality, right? It's about being consistent and posting good information so that the audience can receive it. It's about posting interactive content and using those analytics that will help you market your law firm and yourself as a brand to reach a market that was not possible for us to reach before. There's so many benefits. Again, you reach your customers of all ages. I cannot tell you the amount of clients that I get in my messages. I need an attorney. I just went on Instagram and searched immigration attorney, or I put a hashtag immigration lawyer in Atlanta. That is how a lot of people are looking for services that they need, right? In fact, just 2 days ago, I was there looking for, pet groomers in Atlanta. I was there looking for a family attorney because my friends wouldn't answer the text quick enough. So I had a question with a client, put it on there, immediately got on a call with an attorney, and my client hired that attorney after we went over the reviews, make sure that they were good fit for my client. But I mean, so many people are finding lawyers, finding businesses using the social media platform. So why not, right? Get on that train, and why not? And it's a free marketing tool. So in mastering social media, there are 4 M's that we went over in detail last week. We monitor, we manage, we market, and then you make money off of it, right? You monitor, you create those goals that target your audience, right? Depending on your brands, depending on your law firm. You make sure that, as Mark said last week, you're not posting things at the last minute, right? That is exactly how we make mistakes. And Leigh is going to cover, right, confidentiality, right? I mean, that is why you should plan your post, right, before they go out. Everything should be you have to use this as a business plan. Every Monday, I may post Motivational Monday. Every Tuesday, maybe a Tip Tuesday, or whatever it may be. But these posts should be planned so that you're not releasing any information because you're doing things at the last minute that you shouldn't, or you're not saying more than you should about any particular case. Also, listen to what your users are saying. If they want to hear more, you can just say a story or something that happened to you. It doesn't have to be specific examples, but just it's really good for educational purposes. It's good for entertaining purposes. Then you'll create your brand. You'll create that marketing plan that you have, and you'll create your audience. So social media, again, is a business plan. You schedule your post, you do daily, weekly, monthly. I try to do it weekly. So on Mondays, I try to set my schedule for the whole week. And I've seen my followers grow significantly from, obviously, we all start at 0 to now having 10,000 plus followers, which have turned into a lot of clients. Which whenever I have any events for the community, whether it's, with the nonprofit, whether it's free webinars, people tune in, right? Because you want to have that audience. If you don't have anyone to educate, right, who can you educate? If you don't have anyone to give information to, that becomes a problem. So you want to have an audience so that you can educate, so that you can build your brand, and then you can continue on. Also monetize, right? The value of engagement, the return on investment. Personally, it has been great. We don't spend any money on marketing, right? We just use Facebook and Instagram because we're a small firm and we've grown significantly, especially with, right, this COVID world where everything is done via the black mirror, right? The phone, the laptop, everything is in the palm of your hands. So we have seen a huge increase in clientele just off social media. You can promote any additional products if you wrote a book, right? These are great marketing tools for sure. Also, if you have your account set up as a personal account, you won't be able to see the insights. And we spoke with you guys about this in the first week. So you want to set it up as the professional account, look at the insights. And for example, this will tell you at what time is best for you to post. If you see it at the bottom, right? You're getting your most engagement at 3 p.m. So between 12 and 3 p.m. So I would just schedule every Monday at 3 p.m. I'm going to post, whatever I want to post, whether it's, our law firm does criminal defense, call us, free consultations if you need us, right? So 3 p.m. post it, leave your phone number on there, and just use it as a marketing tool. But this insight is very good. When we took the screenshot, it shows 69% women, 31% men, 25 to 34-year-old is your most, the most of your followers. That's the age group that they come from. So this gives you sort of a clarity, right? And once you get more insights, I mean, you can even pay for more insights, such as like, where is exactly the group of people that are following you, where they're based, what are their interests. You can do polls, a ton of stuff that you can do. Some of my examples for scheduled posts are the Motivational Monday, as I just said. I think, honestly, when I started with my social media accounts, I think we overthink, right? Like we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be insightful. And I think consistency, right? And posting, right? If you get too intimidated, you're not going to post. And that happened to me. And then when I started talking to Rodolfo, who we had him on for the past 3 weeks, he's marketing genius. I mean, I grew from 0 to 10,000. He's like, Pam, it's not that difficult. Just, write a caption and say something that's motivational to you. And then I had like 10,000 likes, right? This simple thing that I didn't think much about created a good platform for me. So this is what I personally use, Motivational Monday. So if I don't know what to post on Mondays, I'm going to post something, even if it's a repost or something that I think can inspire either younger generations or young lawyers or young women that want to become lawyers, right? I go ahead and post it. A Tip Tuesday could be related to your area of practice. You can do like Immigration Wednesday, Workers' Comp Wednesday, or whatever your field of practice is. A Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, and then a holiday post. And if you create these posts ahead of time, it's just plug and play. So it takes away the intimidation from, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? What am I going to post? And if you continue and you're consistent with it, then, I think that's how your social media, a free platform, can be monetized and becomes successful. The hashtags, again, so good. Before it was you Google, right, certain things. Now people can go on Instagram, put a hashtag and search for criminal defense attorney Atlanta, hashtag. And whoever's page comes up, they'll click on it and they'll call. I've gotten clients that do that, right? They'll call me and say, I saw a post, I just put a hashtag immigration lawyer in Atlanta and your page came up. And so I set up an appointment. I'm like, wow, okay. Spent $0 on that, right? Just this posting and creating that Instagram account. So always remember to also add hashtags on your post, right? So if you're a criminal defense attorney, criminal defense Atlanta, criminal defense attorney Atlanta, attorney Atlanta, Atlanta attorney, right? And put as many hashtags as possible so that you can be found by the public. There's all those hashtags that we went over while we covered the hashtags, common terms that people are looking for on social media, the child custody, any term that you can think of, or your name, right? You can use your name as a hashtag, or you can use your law firm's name as a hashtag, or your slogan, or whatever it is, but it's just serving to market and so that people can find you on social media. Also, another way that we had Crystal speak about last week was to go live on IG. And sometimes I just go live and share, okay, breaking news, the White House just passed this law, right? Very interesting. This is what we know so far. People want to be educated. They want to know what's going on. And if they're following you, that's a good way to interact with your followers. So I don't know if any of you guys have done that, but I've probably done it twice. And I'll go live on Instagram and it's that direct contact, right? That they can ask a simple question. Where is your law firm located? How long have you guys been in practice? What areas do you cover? Will you take on this type of case? And we'll say, okay, set up an appointment, or no, we don't. So instead of them setting up an appointment, coming into the office, and then I'm saying, I can't take your case, but I can refer you to someone, you can do a live once a month, and then people can ask you questions. Do you take these type of cases? And, if it's like an adoption or something like that, we'll say no. But that's an easy way to have that direct contact with your community. And, if you're maybe I do it sometimes when I'm doing community events, I'll go live and say, we're here and this is what we're doing. We're doing free citizenship applications. So come on out and we'll help you. An awesome tool. So if you guys haven't used the live capability on your IG, just think about a way that you could use it. Maybe once a month, like I say, or once a year, however you want to do it, but it is a good tool. And that's basically a quick, summary of everything that we've gone over for the past 3 weeks. So let me see if there are any questions right now. We have a message from Cam. He says, it seems to me that this is definitely not free. Oh, that's right. You're right. There seems to be a significant investment of time and effort and attention. Are you tracking the ROI based on the time invested at your billable rate? How many of those likes actually correlate to a contact or an engagement? Cam, that is such a good question, because in the beginning, we were spending a lot of time like, okay, what can we post? Now, we probably post in less than a minute, right? Because we have certain pictures already. We have certain posts that we've already created. So it is time that's invested in it, right? And it's effort. And some folks like Mark that we heard from last week, some folks like Seth that, we also showed you his profile with hundreds of thousands of followers. They are investing tons of money into this marketing, right? This specific form of marketing, which is social media. And we heard from Mark last week saying it's a significant return on investment. I'm getting clients, hit me up almost every day. And the same thing with me, I'm not spending any money, but I am spending some time, and now I'm doing it, in a much smarter way where I have all my posts planned out for the rest of the month, right? So I probably take 1 hour during my weekend and create all, maybe 10, 20 posts that I know I'm already gonna do it on Motivational Monday, Tip Tuesday, or, WCW on Wednesdays, and just continue doing that. And then at the end of every post in my caption, I just have my law firm, right? If you have any questions, call us and we're here to help, right? Or if we're ever offering any discounts or any free consultations or anything like that, then we'll post it. So, I mean, to track the return on investment, I would say, you would need those tools that Mark and Seth have, where it's like every click, who's clicking, and if they're calling or if they're pressing on your website. I don't have that. All of my social media is strictly free, and I'm doing it myself. But what I can say is, when my paralegals come to me, right, when somebody comes in and we say, how did you get referred to us? I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of people that say Instagram. Oh, I clicked on a hashtag. So it's like we see it when we're doing the opening file memo at the bottom. We probably get a call a day, at least 1 or 2, where they're like, I saw this on Instagram, or I put a hashtag on Instagram. And for a small firm or a small solo, that's huge. Small firm or a solo practitioner, to not have to spend any money and you're already at your computer and putting these posts together. I think it's definitely worth it. We also have, Sheila, a trivia game at the end of the session for a $200 credit. Last time we had a winner as well, so we're super excited about the trivia game. And let's see about the Q&A. So someone just asked, post versus story, should we be doing both, and how do you plan the stories? So again, it's so interesting because when I started, this was also intimidating to me. I mean, the post, the stories, how do you show yourself to the world? And I think you have to be as authentic as possible, right? Like when I started, I used to say, I can't be funny, I can't be silly, but that's just my personality, right? Like, I'm just a bubbly personality, and you need to be authentic to who you really are. And social media, that's gonna shine through. So what I try to do is, on my post, I try to post once a day. That is a goal. It doesn't happen, right? But I have those archived posts already that I'm like, okay, I'll post that tomorrow, that I've already planned out, weeks ago. Or it could be in the beginning of the week. And then I try to post once a day. Obviously, the day gets in your way, right? And you get so busy, you forget, but that is the goal. Stories, so easy. It could be anything. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm posting probably 6 or 7 stories a day, right? And that takes me maybe 5 seconds, because I'm doing it real time. So, I can, when I'm walking towards the courthouse, I'll just post, headed to the detention center, headed to the courthouse, tough case today, right? Anything. And people feel like they're going on this journey with you, whether it's younger lawyers, whether it's law students, whether it's just the community, they feel like they're going on this journey with you. So I would say, if you can, shoot for 1 post a day. That is a huge, that's a huge goal. So maybe say 1 post a week, but I shoot for 1 post a day. And if I do 1 post a week, okay, at least I tried, right? And then I would say, do a story once a day if you can, right? If you say, I'm going to post once a week, you're going to post once a month, right? Because that's just, you're going to forget about it. So you have to be very intentional with your posting and, what you're putting out there, and just try to be as authentic as possible. How do you plan stories? So you don't, there's no, actually, there is a way to plan stories. I take that back. You can record videos on your phone and just upload them to the stories, right? I don't ever do that, because I try to do it in real time, or I'll do a story, save it, and then upload it the next day, right? Because you can go into your photos and your videos. Now, remember last week when we talked about the safety issue? So I try not to post a story on in a location where I'm at that moment. Like last night, I went to salsa classes, so I posted it this morning, right? Because I didn't want anyone to know that at 10 p.m. I was at this location. So you can plan a story, and it's actually a little bit better. But let's say you're walking into the courthouse, or you're getting flowers or something that's safe for you, and I would say post it in real time if you can. Okay, let's see, another question. Do you show yourself video on the platform speaking directly to the screen? Is there a set time for posting? Do you announce the future posting in advance? That's a great question. So I do show myself in some of the videos. You know, you can do like the selfie videos, or you can record it already, pre-recorded. I try to do a lot of my stuff pre-recorded. So what I do is I bought a little mount with my phone. I bought a ring light. So I would suggest, if you guys do want to post on social media, invest in a ring light. It's just better for the videos. So I bought a little mount with the phone, my ring light, and then I say, I'm going to shoot 1-minute videos. So I'll start off with something like, you know, hey, Pam from Lee and Payne Immigration Law Group. We have over 100 years of experience. We're here to serve. We're here to do, you know, have any questions, call us, and our number and the email. And then I record several of those, just maybe, you know, today we won this case, you know, very general information. So it should be always less than a minute. I don't recommend that you announce future postings unless you're doing a live, right? That's the only time that I would say for you guys to announce any future postings, if you're doing a live, if you're having an event, or anything like that. Otherwise, just, you know, it should be, and I try to do it, even if I recorded something, like I recorded some Christmas, Thanksgiving stuff last year, I just use it this year. Right. And I just, in the caption, I don't say, oh, this was last year or anything like that. I just say, happy Thanksgiving, et cetera, you know, whatever I want to put on that caption. I hope that answered your question. Let me see. And the next question is, can we do more lengthy discussion or follow on in this platform? Can you do any more lengthy discussions or follow on in this platform? I don't think I understand the question. Maybe can we do as a committee, or can you do lengthy discussions on Instagram? I don't, maybe some clarification, but you can do lengthy discussions on Instagram when you do a live. Those lives can go up to an hour. And I've seen so many attorneys like, we can actually record this, what we're doing right now, and upload it to Instagram and then just inform people, right? So there's many ways that you can upload long discussions on Instagram and on many of those social media platforms. Okay, so I think we answered all of the questions in the Q&A. Let me know if you guys have any questions about, okay, there's another question that just came in. How do your posts translate to new clients? Do they just translate into followers? That is a great question. It translates into new followers, which in turn translates into new clients. Right? I mean, I spent so much time going to events, right? When I became an attorney, and my goal was to, let me give out 1 card a day, right? And to be honest, no one would call me from those cards, right? Like they wouldn't. So in my mind, I'm like, let me give out these cards, and it would be such hard work to go to the event, get dressed, you know, do all this stuff. And I never saw that much return on investment on those events, those networking events. It was always word of mouth. But then with Instagram, right, you're saying, hey guys, reshare this, repost this. And I look in my insights, and some of my videos have been reposted 400 times. I mean, that's a huge audience that, you know, it would have taken me, what, 400 events to possibly go to, and they have thousands of followers as well. So, you know, the goal should be, obviously, to build your brand, promote your business. If you have 10 followers, 20 followers, watch it grow, because that's, you know, 10 people following you, right? Like listening to what you have to say. And whenever they will need someone in your field, they will think about it, right? Because you've already kind of developed that relationship. Some of these followers, they're like, I know you. Like they feel like they know me, even though we've never met. And they feel like they can trust me, or they say, hey, I just heard my nanny talk about immigration, you know, so we decided to send you a message. I said, sure, call my office, set up an appointment, you know, we'll see if we can help her. So I think it's just how quick it is. I mean, when you think about, you know, Google, and in the old days, how long it used to take with the yellow pages, and now you have direct access. And most of the time, it's not me responding to my messages, it's my assistant. She's like, Pam, we got like 30 messages today. about somebody wanting to set up consultation. So yes, it does turn into followers, which then turns into clients. And then one final question here, and then we'll go to Lay. Any advice on how to start off getting followers? Is it just to use hashtags in the beginning? So yes, right? It took me a long time to get these followers, but I would say in the past 2 months is when I finally got it. One is to be consistent. You post once a year, you're forgotten, they're not going to follow you. You got to be consistent. That's why I say at least try to post once a week at the bare minimum. Shoot for once a day because you're going to do it, once a week. Then use the hashtags. I would tell you that in my, I've had maybe this Instagram account for maybe 2 years. And I did not start off with the hashtags. I wish that I would have. I would tag things now. So for example, and we talked about this before, if you're at and you won't do it in real time, but like if you're at a Starbucks, I would tag the Starbucks. If you're at a bookstore, I would tag the bookstore. If you're doing this, if you're reading a book, I would tag the book and the book owner, right? If you found something that was good for you, right? Educational, I would tag that. And then they would repost you. And some of them have millions of followers. And then it just kind of opens up, right? All those folks that are looking at your page. So definitely do that. And that's what Rodolfo was teaching us, how great it is with marketing. We don't want to be obnoxious and tag LeBron James, right? For no reason. But, if there's a book that you're reading, right? And you feel that you find it to be great, I read this book, tag them. They may repost you. And then someone in that follower list who's looking for a workers' comp attorney will go to your page and say, well, my gosh, when I need them, I'll hit them up. So yes, use the hashtags, be consistent, be yourself, educate and tag, right? If it makes sense, don't just tag for the sake of tagging, but if it makes sense. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know and we can answer them after Lay presents on ethics and, responding to negative reviews. But you can still ask the questions via the Q&A or on the chat. And will you share the slides and a recording for this series? And we're working on that sharing. So I will definitely let you know before the end of this session, but I believe that we are. And yes, maybe Kim? Yes. Awesome. Okay, Lay, go ahead.
All right, I am going to share my screen and all right, well, thank you, Pam, for having me here. My name is Lee Burgess, and I work with the Office of the General Counsel of the State Bar of Georgia, and we handle lawyer discipline. And so I'm here to talk about ethics as it relates to social media. I'm going to generally talk about some applicable rules, but really I'm going to focus on online reviews and responses to those. And I'm sorry, there's somebody leaf blowing outside my window right now, so hopefully you can hear me. The rules that are important in social media are 1.6, which is the confidentiality rule, which I will talk about in more detail in a minute. 7.1, which is the rule regarding a lawyer's communication regarding their services. And this rule basically says, don't post anything misleading. Don't post anything that leads to an unreasonable expectation of what you can do. We will win every case, something like that. Rule 7.2 is the advertising rule that gives you a little more specifics as to what you can put in an ad, what's required in an ad. One thing that is required that a lot of attorneys don't include are the name of the attorney and the address, the physical address where you can find the attorney. A lot of times you'll just see a big sign that says, DUI lawyer, and it'll have a phone number, and you don't know who that person is or where they're located, if they're in Georgia, if they're in Atlanta. So you do have to have that information on your ads. And then 7.4, communication of fields of practice. And 7.3, direct contact with prospective clients, that get into a little more of the nitty gritty about that. Hold on. So online reviews. So this is a bit of an older study, but I think it still sheds light on what we're looking at. In 2005, most clients found lawyers through personal connections, and 65% said that they would ask a friend or relative first if they were looking for a lawyer. Now, in 2016, there was an article that 2/3 of consumers said they would be more likely to hire a lawyer who has online reviews. And that was true of 81% of millennial consumers. And according to a 2016 Martindale study, 83% of individuals check reviews as a first step to find a lawyer. Now, I imagine that that is even higher now. Everybody uses online reviews to decide where they're going to eat dinner, who is going to groom their dog. And so it stands that people are going to also do the same when they're looking for a lawyer. So you're looking at a very large field, a large number of people that you are reaching. So the main rule that comes into play is Rule 1.6, which is the confidentiality rule. Whoops. Sorry, this is very sensitive. So Rule 1.6 says a lawyer shall maintain in confidence all information gained in the professional relationship with the client, including information which the client has requested to be kept private or that would be embarrassing. Now, there's an exception. A lawyer may reveal information covered by this paragraph A, which the lawyer reasonably believes necessary to establish a claim or defense on behalf of the lawyer in a controversy between the lawyer and the client. And so the key words are to establish a claim or defense on behalf of the lawyer in a controversy. Now, is a negative online review a controversy? Our office holds that it is not. There's no formal opinion on that, but if you call the ethics line and ask one of us, that's what we're going to tell you. We don't have anything in writing on that. However, we look to other states and the ABA to give us guidance. And one of the most compelling is an advisory opinion, New Jersey Advisory Committee on Professional Ethics. And this came out in December of 2020. And the committee found that an informal controversy between a lawyer and a prospective or former client arising from the posting of negative online review does not fall within the safe harbor of Rule 1.6. A lawyer may not disclose confidential information merely to protect their online reputation in response to negative comments of this type. It does go on to say a lawyer may respond in a proportionate and restrained manner and state that the lawyer disagrees with the facts presented by the reviewer. There are some cases of lawyers reacting badly. You can take a look at these. The Florida case is one in which the lawyer wasn't necessarily reacting to a bad review, but she was basically engaged in threatening behavior and used online social media to disparage her coworkers and the judge. And she ended up getting disbarred for that and for a number of other reasons. Georgia does have a case in the matter of Margaret Skinner. And Margaret Skinner represented a client in a divorce, and she did a lot of things, took actions that would be in violation of the rules. She did not communicate with her client. There were delays in filing. Some of her filings had mistakes on them. There were errors in the pleadings. And eventually the client got a new lawyer. And at that point, she didn't turn over the file to the new lawyer. So she violated a number of rules. But the client was not happy, and the client posted some negative reviews on 3 sites. And when Skinner learned of these negative reviews, she posted a response on the internet that contained personal information about the client. She revealed the name of the client, the employer of the client, the county where the divorce had been filed, how much the client had paid, and revealed that the client had a boyfriend. And all of this information she learned during the course of her representation of the client, which was covered under 1.6. So the client filed a grievance against Ms. Skinner. And in response to the grievance, she did say she would remove the posting. However, it took her several months to review it, to take it down. And so she filed a grievance, and it went to a special master, and then eventually went to the court. And it was found that she violated Rule 1.6 because she had revealed confidential information, and she ended up receiving public discipline for that.
Wow, that's so, I mean, you would think that no one would do that, right? Like, you would just think that an attorney would not disclose confidential information. But I think, in the social media world, it's almost like, I want to say something right now, right? As opposed to, and that's why the scheduling, right, of the post, and maybe saying, okay, let me take 24 hours before I say anything about anything.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, I think everybody has a knee-jerk reaction to something negative online because it's out there. It is something that is immediately viewable. And I think everyone, lawyers included, want a response out there immediately. And I, just a couple of weeks ago, I had a complaint about a lawyer who was posting very negative information to online posts, exactly these situations, and was disclosing very damaging information about that person. Now, he did not name the lawyer in the response, but name the client, but the client's name was on the original post, and he posted information that it may have been available on public record, but it was information that he had gathered from representation, and it was very damaging to the client. So how should you respond to an online review? So you have to consider the Streisand effect, which is unintended consequences. So the Streisand effect is a phenomenon whereby the attempt to suppress something only brings more attention and notoriety to it. It came about because Barbara Streisand had a big house in Malibu, that's it, and it was right on the edge by the ocean, and a photographer had taken pictures of her house, among others, he was documenting erosion. And Barbara Streisand, he put the pictures online. About 6 people saw them, and it was more people that were in this field and worried about beach erosion. But Barbara Streisand did not like it and sued to have them taken down. Now, prior to the suit, only a few people had seen these, but once news of the suit broke, hundreds of thousands of people sought the picture out online, and the picture suddenly was all over the media and on websites. And so Barbara Streisand had inadvertently brought a lot of attention to herself, and you've seen it, especially in the past several years when more and more people are on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and posting things. And so you need to be aware of the Streisand effect. You don't want someone posting something negative about you, if it's true, untrue, and then you draw more attention to it because you're lashing out and acting unprofessional in your response to it. So in a nutshell, it's anything that is made a big deal of can be a bigger deal. So be careful of the Streisand effect. The ABA has an opinion that we often point lawyers to that offers guidance on what to do when there is a negative online post. And the opinion points to Rule 1.6. It also explains that there is an exception when you are dealing with an online controversy. But what it in the bottom line is that as a best practice, lawyers should consider not responding at all to a negative post or review, because doing so may draw more attention to it and invite further response from an already unhappy critic, just the Streisand effect. Now, what you can do is you can request that the website or search engine host remove the information. And I hear lawyers complain that that takes a long time. Often it takes several weeks to have that done. And that's weeks that the information can be out there and have detrimental information. But that is one avenue you can take. Lawyers who choose to respond online, you cannot disclose information that relates to a client matter or that could reasonably lead to the discovery of confidential information by another in the response. This example I was telling you about, the lawyer in response to the client negative review mentioned another case that this person was involved in, that anyone could have, gone on the online search records and found this case and found this person. One thing that we suggest is post a response to a former client, or if it's someone posting on behalf of a client, and say, please contact me by telephone. Let's talk so we can discuss your concerns. That's a very professional response. It shows anyone else who is taking a look at your social media site and your posts that you are addressing it, that is not something you're ignoring, but that you're taking a measured professional response to that. And I notice that when I am looking at restaurant reviews, if someone has posted a negative review, I know that the manager says, I'm very sorry, please call me to discuss. I think that goes a long way when you respond in a professional manner. So what's good for the lawyer is good for the client. Focus on the underlying source of the client dissatisfaction if you're reaching out to the client to try to remedy the situation. Take a hint from other service providers. Like I said, when you see restaurants or other businesses who have addressed the matter, who have explained that they don't believe that this is accurate, but they're happy to discuss, that goes a long way. Contact the dissatisfied former client. Try to fix the problem if it's possible. You can also ask the writer to post an update. I see those a lot on Yelp or other sites, that they note that the manager got in touch with them and they appreciated it. And I think that says a lot for the business. Ask satisfied clients to post positive reviews. That's something that you can do, but be very careful about doing that. No astroturfing, which is basically getting people to write positive reviews and sort of filling the field with these fake reviews. Don't do that. Often it is very obvious when somebody does that, but try to generate the good reviews on your own. A lot of times you're going to come across a matter in your social media posting, in your advertising, that doesn't fit into our rules, the comments to our rules, or any of these opinions, the ABA opinion, the New Jersey opinion, or doesn't fit in with any of these cases. And that's what the Ethics Hotline is there for. We man the hotline 5 days a week. We have 10 attorneys with the Office of the General Counsel, and we take turns rotating on who's handling the ethics line, and we will give you informal, non-binding ethics opinion. on any matter of topics. Now, we are supposed to only comment on prospective attorney conduct, so we typically cannot comment on things that you've already done. Or if you want to complain about another attorney, we typically do not tell you, whether that attorney has violated the rules. We'll tell you you can file a grievance if you want. But what we are there for is to help you decide if what you're about to do is within the guidelines. We also, I handle a lot of the advertising inquiries and matters, and I get emails all the time from attorneys who ask me to take a look at what they're about to post, either as an advertisement or on social media, just to make sure that there is nothing that violates the rules. It's a red flag that would cause us pause at the state bar. And I am happy to do that. You can find my email address on our website. It's leigh, L-E-I-G-H-B @gabar.org. You can also, if you don't want to call, you can log in on your membership page to gabar.org to submit an ethics question online if you prefer not to talk on the phone. And that is all I have there. I'm going to stop my share and see if we have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Leanne, for offering yourself as a resource to us. I didn't know, right, that we can contact and say, hey, I'm about to post this, right? Should I? And I think it would likely prevent a lot of these cases from going forward and then folks getting in trouble with the bar. Yeah. So I thank you for sure. Now, can you tell us how that process would go? Let's say somebody does file a grievance against you. Then what happens?
Well, and I'll also mention that all the calls to the Ethics Hotline are, we don't keep records, they're confidential. So, you don't need to worry if you are proposing doing something and one of us says, oh no, you certainly can't do that. We're not going to keep a record, follow up, check up on you. But as for the grievance process, anyone can file a grievance. It does not have to be a client. There does not have to be any connection. And once we get the grievance, we review the grievance to see if what is described as a potential rules violation. A lot of things that we hear about are not rules violations. We can't do anything about malpractice. We cannot discipline a lawyer for being ineffective or for being rude. Sometimes it falls out of our 4-year statute of limitations. Sometimes there's just not enough facts to show a violation. So we review it, and if it falls into one of those categories that there is no potential violation, we will dismiss it. If there is a possible violation, if someone has possibly violated Rule 1.6 in their social media response, we'll send the grievance to the attorney and ask the attorney to respond and explain that we've received this grievance. We're concerned there's a potential violation of our rules, and please provide a response. Once that response is received, the attorney's response is sent to the client or the complainant, and they get a chance to file a rebuttal and say, okay, the attorney may have said this, but wait a minute, let me show you this other item. And then once everything is gathered, one of our attorneys screens the file and takes a look to see if there is enough evidence that there is a potential rules violation. The burden is on the complainant to demonstrate the evidence of a potential rules violation, just like the burden is on the state bar whenever a disciplinary matter comes before the court. And if we feel there is enough there, it goes to the state disciplinary board and they do formal investigation. And from there, it can end up in public or private discipline, a dismissal. It can go to a full-blown hearing. Generally, we don't get a lot of cases involving advertising. Usually, if we have an advertising concern, it's routed to me and I call the attorney and explain that their social media posts, their advertisement, their billboard is in violation of our rules. Here's the rule. Here's where it's in violation. Please let me know how you intend to remedy this. And I'll give the lawyer time especially if it's a billboard, to take care of the problem. And once they provide information that they have done so, and remedied the potential concern, then I close out the matter, and it never goes into a full-blown grievance. Now, at times, attorneys have not complied or have not responded, and in that case, it does go forward with the grievance. But we try to work with the attorneys, because our whole purpose is protection of the public, and we really don't want information out there that could mislead people. And if we can get the attorney to take down the misleading ad, that's a more rapid solution than going through the grievance process.
Good. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Now, what I've seen is that, with COVID, a lot of young attorneys have gone solo, right? And I think that it is up to us to make sure that we have the information available to them so that they don't have to, answer to you at some point. So I really like this next question. It's saying, what's the most common thing that you're seeing now, right? With social media, with online posting, is there something that you're like, my gosh, I wish they would stop doing X, right? Or maybe it's just that they don't know, and it's up to us to educate these young lawyers coming out of law school, just passing the bar and hanging their own shingle. What would you say would be like a common theme that you're seeing as of recent?
In advertising or social media?
Correct. In advertising, in just, stuff that kinds of, puts a red flag in any grievances and any complaints, in anything that you've personally seen, just something, or if there's anything, maybe you haven't seen anything as of yet, but something that you're like, I've seen a lot more of this, or maybe it is the lashing out, right, on social media when they get a bad review,
Right.
or anything like that. Is there any advice that you can give, I guess, our younger lawyers, those hanging their own shingles, so that they never have to see you or answer to you at some point?
Right. Yeah. And I think that one of the best things a young lawyer can do is to have mentors, to reach out, to have someone, even if they're on their own, who they can bounce ideas and questions off of, even if they feel like they're stupid questions. Someone they can be completely honest with and say, hey, I'm thinking about posting this or doing this. I do see young lawyers who are responding negatively online, who are putting one of the troubling things that I see, and it's usually in context with a grievance about something else, but it's text messages. And the lawyers tend to get into text message conversations with their clients, and they seem to very quickly turn casual. And these clients keep these forever, and they screenshot them and send them to us as part of a grievance. And I've seen attorneys, just because of the casual nature of text, I've seen attorneys say, you need to stop bothering me. It's the weekend. I mean, that's not a violation, but it sets up a very informal communication style. I've seen lawyers really lose it with problem clients, and we can tell these clients are difficult, but use curse words with them, get very petty. I've seen one that says, now I see why your husband left you. I would hope not to see that again, but because of the texting you can get text every single day. It's not like it used to be. You got your mail or your emails in the office. Now we're getting them at home. We're getting them at all hours, and it can become very easy to get fed up with it and to lose your cool. And so I would just be very careful in texting clients. It also sets up the expectation of instant communication. We have a rule about communication, and you need to reasonably communicate with your client and respond to reasonable requests for communication. But as we know, clients may have a different idea of reasonable communication than you do. And we get, attorneys who are being inundated with 5, 6, 7 emails, messages a day, and we get complaints from the clients that they're not responding. You're not required to instantly respond or respond 5 or 6 times a day, but that takes up your time when you're having to deal with incoming texts or incoming phone calls, just trying to wade through that. So setting up expectations on how you're going to communicate, limiting the casual communication, the texts. If you need to give a client your number to text, make sure that they're aware you're not going to text on weekends. You're only going to text during business hours, so that you don't get yourself in a situation where a complaint comes in for abandonment because you're not communicating with your client. I would just really focus on that communication rule, and have a mentor, have somebody that you can bounce around ideas on social media, advertising, or any part of your practice.
Definitely great information. And I think we need to have a session just on this alone, right? I mean, I get texts from my clients all the time, and sometimes they text me at 1 and at 2, they're like, hello, why are you talking to me like this? Right? But we're in that area, we're in that era where it's like everyone wants instant communication. So I love that, setting up the expectations, and we can definitely set up another session and set all that up for our younger lawyers who may not have the mentors that they need. I do have a few more questions, if you don't mind staying for just a couple more minutes, but I did want to do the trivia. Let's see. The trivia is, what organization previously occupied the current State Bar of Georgia building? And make sure that if you do know the answer to this question, that you respond to everyone and not just the host and panelist. The Federal Reserve, Federal Bank. Did they get it right? Yes. The first one that I see is Melissa Nelson, but is that correct? All right. Well, congrats, Melissa. That's awesome. Did you Google that? That was pretty fast. All right. So if anyone needs to leave, obviously to be respectful of our time, but we do have, I think, 2 more questions, if it's okay with you. And these are very specific, so I don't know if maybe they would require a follow-up or an email. But one is in the chat, and I'm going to ask Mr. Williams' question first. It says, how does the bar handle legal advertisements which degrade the professional competence of other attorneys or the legal profession generally?
I guess I would need an example of what that means by degrade. I mean, is it putting down another attorney, or is it just tacky advertising? So that may be something that would be better answered via an email. So he definitely is welcome to email me. Again, it's I can actually just type it in the chat here.
Excellent. And one more question for you, and then I'll answer the question that's for me. It says, please, it's an anonymous question, and it says, please confirm that we can point to things in public pleadings to defend ourselves against online misleading reviews by clients, correct?
You've got to be careful about that, even if it is in a public pleading. If it is information gained through your representation, it is still covered by 1.6. And I see this as a slippery slope when a lawyer will generally refer to information in a response and will reveal information that could be detrimental or negative, even if it is in public pleadings. That information through your representation. So our advice would be not to reference that, to try to keep it more general and respond trying to protect your integrity without getting into specifics.
Definitely good advice. Always err on the safe side. As they would say. Let's see, there's one more question. I think I just saw it. Can you comment on when it might be problematic to tag others on Instagram other than the lawyer-client disputes we mentioned earlier? And let me know if you want to chime in. I would just, we're lawyers, right? Like, we're professionals. We're not going to tag, to antagonize or harass or, useless tagging. It's what I would say on social media, So it's, it just depends, like what's the intention behind it? Right? We would never tag a client. We would never tag anything that would, give out any information about our cases, or just tag for the sake of tagging, right? So I try to tag if I'm at a coffee shop, at a local owned place, and really you would tag sort of to bring more followers to your page, or to sort of bring more views to your page. That's done in a tactful way. But, we heard from Rodolfo, our marketing expert, it's good to tag, right? So if you're at a local store, right, to bring attention to that local store from the community, and to also bring attention to your page. Would you like to add anything on that about tagging folks on social media pages? Is there anything you'd like to add, or not really?
No, I don't think so from our perspective.
Okay, let's see. So we got one more comment. It has been a very learning experience. Awesome. I am ready to enter the social media universe. Yay. Join us. We've been waiting for you, Erica. I think it's an awesome tool, right? And we want to learn more from the State Bar. Like, we also want to showcase our personalities, market ourselves at zero cost. It does require time. But, for those that are a small firm, and with COVID and everything being virtual, I think it has been a great tool that has allowed us to employ, a lot more people, and continue going. So if you guys have any questions at all, let us know. We're here to help. Please use her as well as a resource. We're going to chat, and we're going to come up with another session. I guess in this social media world, I'm going to put on a session about immigration. I get a lot of calls, I get a lot of emails, about immigration. A lot of attorneys that have gone solo, that have, transferred from one area, try to go into immigration, and they don't have mentors. So I think it is the State Bar's duty to put on information and educate. And so I'm going to do that for immigration in January. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys have any questions at all, please join us. If no one else has any other questions, then I think this meeting is adjourned. Awesome. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Let me see. I'm going to stay on just to make sure no one has any other questions. And I'm going to put on my awesome little glasses.
Pam, when you do that immigration, I would love to be a part of that. I mean, we get grievances on immigration matters, and none of us are, specialize or have practiced immigration law. And so it's always nice to get a little brush up on that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. So I'll definitely do that, and we'll partner up and talk. There's a lot of, issues with notarios. I mean, just yesterday, I got someone to send me a Facebook. Oh my goodness, I still have my glasses on.
You just put them on.
I'm trying to be serious, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have my little glasses on. Okay. Yeah, just yesterday I got someone saying, hey, this person is giving out all this immigration legal advice, and they're not an attorney, and the State Bar needs to get involved. Right. So we definitely need to protect our immigrant community so that they don't get these terrible advice from folks that shouldn't be. It should be a licensed attorney or someone that's authorized. So absolutely, we will put that information. We will put it together. I would love for you to join me.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely Tuesday.
Thank you.
Bye.